late game execution.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Just for you guys to know, I posted something yesterday said fatigue of all aspects of life. That is true. I am fatigued of all aspects of life. It's probably one of the reasons why I haven't talked about the finals like that, because, man, come to think about it, thinking about it now, both of these teams, some of you might not know, and some of you might know, I don't like Indiana. I hate Indiana. And this is not because, Indiana took the Bucks out 2 years in a row. This is a deep-seated hatred towards the Pacers. Goes back to the 90s. Late 90s. But anyways, that's one of the reasons why I haven't talked about the finals, because F the Pacers. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just burnt out from the NBA. But then again, I ain't talking about the finals last year too. Maybe you do a full season covering the NBA for not, well, for I wouldn't say a whole 82 games, but just for cover a whole NBA season. And by the time you get to the finals, you just burnt the hell out. But that wasn't the case 2 years ago when Denver and Miami played each other. I still had some enthusiasm. I don't know what it is. I am burnt out from YouTube. But thank you guys for your kind words that I posted in that comment section. Personally, not no deep valley, no distress, just burnt out. Just need a break from a lot of things. So that's mainly what's going on. But I want to address something that I've been seeing a lot lately. So over the past, I want to say 10 years, maybe 11, 12 years, we've seen a lot of players go down with Achilles injuries, right? Just to name a few, the late great Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant. I'm trying to think who else. I think Deontay Murray went down with one. Yeah, that was Achilles. He went down with one earlier in the season. DeMarcus Cousins tore his Achilles years ago. Trying to think who else. I think I remember one. Chauncey Billups tore his Achilles too. Never was the same player, but that else happened later in his career too. I think he might have been with the Clippers when that happened. Trying to think of some more. Trying to think of some more people that tore their Achilles. I'm thinking football too. I'm not gonna say football because that's a totally different sport. Because I was thinking Aaron Rodgers. I was like, that's not basketball, but he is one of them. But I do want to add football in there too, because we've seen Aaron Rodgers went down with one. Dre Greenlaw, the 49ers, went down with one as well. And then recently you had Jason Tatum and Damian Lillard went down with Achilles injuries. The reason why I don't want to add football in there, because what some of the people are saying about Achilles injuries don't make any sense. So some people are starting to blame Achilles injuries on shoes, like the low cut shoes that have gotten famous over the last 15 something years now. I remember when they really started going out there, putting low cut shoes out there. I want to say it really started kicking up after, I want to say, the Hyper Dunks. When Kobe Bryant introduced the Hyper Dunks, you know, the promotional video with him jumping over the car. I remember the Hyper Dunks logo came out, and all of a sudden It was the hyperfuse, and then the hyperfuse lows came out, and then it just got crazy after that because Kobe shoes started getting low cut. I think always Kobe shoes always been low cut except for the first couple of ones. But everybody's starting to do it. Everybody has one. And people tend to blame that on the low cut shoes. Now, I would say this. High top shoes, you still injure yourself in that. I don't think people understand the anatomy of Achilles tear. It's not because their shoes are low cut. It's mainly because the way somebody takes off sometimes. Because low cut shoes not going to protect the Achilles. Because sometimes that starts, because the Achilles goes up towards the calf too. And sometimes that's when the injury can start in the calf muscle. Now, I would say some of these shoes, stability wise, as far as like fitting and how they made, not so much how low cut they are, it can be terrible. But I also think some of these guys don't train right. They train terribly. I think in the case for some people, overuse as well. Like I think in the case of Kobe Bryant, maybe Jason Tatum, overuse. Kobe at the time when he tore his Achilles, he was trying to do his best to get the Lakers into the playoffs that season. I think they went in there as a 7th seed and ended up getting swept anybody by the Spurs, but he tried to do his best. And we all know Kobe was a warrior. This fool did probably 3 or 4 workouts a day. And I think at the age of, 34 when it happened? I think it finally caught up with him. And I think he made one false move and that wear and tear came back and bit him. And I think the same thing is happening with a lot of these players. Just have wear and tear and are already improper training as well. I think the same thing with Jason Tatum. You think about Jason Tatum's career since he's been in the league. This fool has been in the playoffs, deep playoff runs almost every year. He's been to the Olympics twice now, 2020, 2024. Went to the finals twice now. So that does have some part in it. KD at the time, probably the same thing. Because KD probably from the time the Thunder rose up until he went to Golden State, his last year at Golden State, that guy was either in deep playoff runs, finals runs, playing in the Olympics, playing in world championships, FIBA world championships. That tends to take a wear and tear on most bodies, especially the way some of these guys play too. That's what I think it is. I think Nick Van Exel came out? Yeah, it was Nick Van Exel came out probably a couple of weeks ago and tried to blame it on the these low cut shoes. I don't think it's that. I just think some of these guys train badly, wear and tear, and I was gonna say something else. I forgot what I lost my train of thought. I hate when it happens. I was thinking about Isaiah Thomas when he did his, and I'm trying to think what shoes was he wearing. I know Isaiah Thomas. Some of these dudes were always. This is the reason why I say the whole shoe thing is not necessarily correct, because you go back to at least the 70s, maybe 60s, 50s. Some of these guys were also playing in Chucks too. And those are not really the perfect. I think those are even worse to playing than what the shoes they got now. So I can't entirely just pinpoint it on low cut shoes, because the way the Achilles is made and the way how it works, it doesn't make any sense at all. If you look at the anatomy of the Achilles and how it attaches to the calf muscle, like I said, Just to remind everybody, I ain't no doctor. But if you watch these videos on the anatomy and how Achilles tears happen, it had nothing to do with the shoes, because this can happen in any sport. Like I said, I mentioned football. It can happen in football too. And people do wear lighter shoes, low cut shoes in football. Some actually wear shoes that go up to the top of the ankle, and it doesn't matter it just matters how you land. Now you could say not Achilles injury, but this low cut shoes can contribute to sprained ankles, but also at the same time, I think you can sprain your ankle at high top and low top. I have sprained my ankle at high top more than anything. So I can't necessarily say it's just the shoes. Can't say that, because they're low cut so far, and I think the majority of my shoes are lower cut. I haven't had a problem with them so far. I probably sprained my ankle one time in low cut shoes, and that was last year, and recovered from that. So I can't say it was that. I just think it's the way these guys are training. These guys don't train. These guys train with cables and everything. I always say you gotta train with the old-fashioned way, with the old weights and dumbbells. Because I think weights and dumbbells have a little bit more resistance and better base than training with wires and cables and all kinds of other stuff they be doing these days. And some of these guys need to take rest as well. I think some of these guys go almost year-round just playing. Some do. I think it's also better. It's something I gotta learn. You gotta take some days off from playing. Some of these guys probably need to take some, like a month and a half off. Let your body recover. Not necessarily get fat in the off season like Luka and Zion, but just tone it back a little bit. You know? And I think that also helps too. Because I think it was a couple years ago, 10 years ago, they had a problem with people tearing their ACL a lot. And I think ACL injuries that went down in the last 10 years. I'm trying to think. And anybody tear their ACL recently? The only person I can think of right now is Kyrie. I forgot Klay Thompson tore his Achilles too, but that was during practice. I might have thought that was in practice. I think he tore his ACL in that finals game. And you can't blame shoes on ACL tears either. Low cut shoes on ACL. The way you land, no matter how you land. If you land terribly and you land awkwardly on the knee, that's it. And I think when D Rose tore his ACL, the one that started it all, I think he was wearing high top shoes and he just landed wrong. So I necessarily can't blame shoes for injuries. I think it's just bad luck sometimes. Like I said, bad training, wear and tear. That's what it is. Can't necessarily pinpoint it down to the way the shoes look or anything like that. Because like I said, football players wear high top shoes and they still tear their Achilles and ACLs and sprain ankles too. It's just the way, especially in football, man, anything can happen when it comes to that. But I remember, I think it was Dre Greenlaw, it might have been. Here's why I brought him up, because it's a perfect example. You can't blame it on his shoes. I think it was in the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls ago. The one they played the Chiefs in, the one Chiefs won, of course. I think Chiefs won both of them against the 49ers. I think he just ran onto the field, barely ran onto the field. And I think the way he ran is what made him his Achilles. And it cost him to be out for most of last season. I think he came back. I think he might have came back late last season. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it has happened to some superstar players. It pretty much ended the career of Kobe Bryant. I forgot Dominique Wilkins did his. I think Dominique Wilkins was wearing Converse. high top Converse, like the actual basketball shoe when he did this too. So like I said, go back to it. Can't blame it on the shoes, but yeah, it has Achilles injury has taken the careers of Kobe Bryant, even Chauncey Billups, even DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins had a bad record. I think right after he tore his Achilles, I think he did something to his knee. Same thing with Klay Thompson, tore his ACL and tore his Achilles. Never really was the same player. Some people have gotten lucky, like KD, Kevin Durant, because right after Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, he didn't play the bubble season, but came back to the 2021 season and probably one of his best years in his career. Just too bad it ended with Giannis winning and really hasn't got back to that type of production since then. But the fact that he came back after that Achilles injury, had that type of year, is incredible. I don't know what's going to happen with Jason Tatum. The thing about Jason Tatum, he got lucky because he's 28, 27. So he might have got lucky with that one. He's still young. He can bounce back. Deontay Murray, same thing. He's still young. But people like Damian Lillard, age 34, going on 35. I think he might have turned 35 already. Yeah. It might be a career for them. He might not be the same person anymore. But who knows? You never know. But anyways, tell me what you guys think.